For over 10 years, the Flying Disc Store has stocked Australia's largest range of flying disc products. From disc golf discs and bags to ultimate frisbees, throw and catch discs and dog discs, the Flying Disc Store has everything you need. As part of our support of the Tee-Off, the Flying Disc Store would like to provide Tee-Off listeners with 5% off any purchase in the store. Just use the code TEEOFF5 when checking out to get your discount. Visit www.flyingdiscstore.com.au today to grab a deal, and if you have any questions, be sure to contact their friendly staff. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Berg's Disc Sports. Check out bergsdiscsports.com for the highest quality disc golf bags and gear that have all been fully tested and approved by our disc golf community. The only thing better than Berg's bags is Berg's customer service.
And welcome back to the Tee-Off, an Australian podcast about the awesome sport of disc golf. I'm Paddy Robinson, and in the studio with me today, I've got Tim Bowen and Andrew Ferguson. How are you, boys?
Hey, lads.
Fergie, Paddy, how we doing, boys?
Good. Yourself?
Very good.
Excellent. Episode 33. We're racking them up. It's pretty freaking exciting. Happy to be here. We've got a big episode, so let's get straight into it. First off, a bit of overview, housekeeping. We've had a couple of more reviews popping up on the old Spotify 5-starers, so I think we're up into the high 30s now. If anyone hasn't done it yet, please jump on and do it so we become more discoverable to other disc golfers so they can give us a listen. Big shout out to Dylan Feldman, who has discovered that we've actually recommenced our Tee-Off Patreon account, and he has signed up as the very first Patreon. So thank you, Dylan, for that. We are opening that up. It is just for pure support of the Tee-Off, allowing us to do extra things and bring extra content. We get to know our listeners a little bit more intimately through the Patreon app, which is cool. And finally, we are going to offer a couple little more giveaways and some merch to those on the Patreon. So if you are interested and, want to give us a bit of support, that'd be great. You can sort of choose how much that you donate per month. It's the cost of a coffee, $4 or $5 a month. That'd be absolutely unreal.
Do we need that? Haven't we made several $1 million off our Tee-Off pins? They are the hottest item in disc golf, I believe.
They are a pretty hot item, actually. Shout out also to Corey Pilkington, from Tassie, who bought 5 on the weekend.
Oh, boy, Corey.
On you, Corey.
He also was a spotter, so shout him out for on the weekend at Tassie.
Absolutely unreal. He also had he wants us to do a bit of a review on a disc golf cart too. He came straight up to me saying, "Hey, Paddy, I got a good one for you." So,
here we go.
Speaking of Tassie, when can we do the review?
Yeah, no, it's coming. It's coming.
There's a good 20-minute segment on Tassie coming up, Fergs.
Good. Just chill out. I'm glad you're not in that fucking crown again. No, and if you want to get some of that merch, there are plenty of disc golf pins left. We do have the disc golf bucket hats, which are on order at the moment. I think there's only really 2 left. So if you're keen, jump on our link tree and order them. Thank you.
What's news round the world, round Australia? What's news? What's happened and who's spoken?
Thank you, JB. Now, I'm going to kick off with things that happened over in the US. We had a big one go down in Texas. I believe it's called Waco.
Taco, Texas.
Waco, Texas. Now, pretty big comp, this one. The MPO battle was really hotly contested, and it was taken out by a young fella named Kyle Klein from the Chase card.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting footage, this. Hammers was motoring at one point. Yeah. Then he kind of slowed right down, and then he decided to just spur his round on with an ace in the final round, to put himself back in contention.
Slow start. Like, he came in leader into round 1. I think he parred the first 4 holes, and then finally gets a birdie, and then throws an ace.
That birdie too was like a 60-footer, around a tree. It was insane.
Hectic.
And the ace, I mean, Are aces good shots? Like, just put it out there.
That one
That one
wasn't-
was no.
That was going 45 metres past
Exactly.
the basket.
I mean, he hit a good line. It's a tight line, but yeah, that thing is big drop off behind. That was
That's
going
it.
way down.
That was whizzing past the baskets and down the hill and beyond. So do you still celebrate that? You're like, I got an ace.
You know what? He could work on the old celebration a bit. Like if that happened to me, I'd be like half the kit would be off.
I felt like he was almost committed to the run and then kind of like stopped and did a bit more of a chilled kind of.
That's probably because he realised, actually, that was a bad shot. Like, that was a par all day. No, awesome. Like at one point, I think about 6 people could have won Waco on the MPO side of things, but Kyle Klein got it done. He had a 2-shot win in the end, and on the FPO side of things, it was also huge drama. Did you happen to catch the FPO finish?
Yeah,
huge.
huge. Ella Hansen, man, just absolutely firing.
She was firing, and then she just ran out of puff with 3 holes to go. She went bogey, bogey, bogey to finish, and Kristen Tatar, I believe, went birdie, par, birdie to take a win.
Yeah.
And you have to feel for Ella Hansen because, bogey, bogey, bogey to finish. She made mistake after mistake after mistake, and it came down to the very last hole. Hole 18 is a par 4 across the water. A lot of the FPO players are sort of laying up to the edge of the water, then carrying across, but Ella... with her big arms, she thought, my safest play here is to attack the water, get across, have it easy up and down for a birdie or a par, and
Put it in the drink.
She put it. No, she actually cleared the water well and truly, but she just was overjuiced it, probably trying to make sure she was in bounds, and she went OB long, and then chumped the upshot, and then missed the putt. So she left the door open for Kristen Tatar, and the world champion that she was canned an edge of circle putt for the win, which was just huge. So well done to KT.
Yeah, big return for her too. First tournament back in America after the operation. Yeah, she's looking
She's
absolutely
unstoppable, that one.
Smoking it. Got to. Who's going to come out and challenge her? I know Ella, did here, but I'm kind of waiting for the usual suspects, Katrina Allen and Paige Pierce, to come back, and it kind of seems like KT scared them off.
Yeah, it was Paige was quite a fair way down the list in the end. I think she was like 10 strokes behind, even
16th?
probably more.
16th,
yeah.
It's huge. Shout out to Owen Scoggins, who had a nice 3rd place finish. She's obviously one of the better putters going around. Loves a flex forehand too, so she's got a special place in my heart, Owen Scoggins. Another shout out on the MPO side of things, Cole Radalin. He finished 3rd, which was his highest finish at a Disc Golf Pro Tour event.
That's good. He's still a young'un, isn't he?
They're all bloody young'uns, Fergs, particularly compared to us.
3 times his age.
That's it. Now, Paddy, you've put something in the show notes here, which is maybe a little mean. Evelina putting on hole 17 in round 1.
I'm not doing it to be mean. I actually did it because of more what happened after.
Fair dinkum, I'll be mean. If you haven't seen this, look it up. Hole 17, Evelina takes a 9 in the first round. And I believe, how many putts did she have? About 6?
Look, we know that she's had some putting woes before, but this one's particularly brutal.
Stop
I think
glossing over it, Paddy. She fair dinkum whiffed it from 2 meters.
Yeah, putting
and not
with
just,
massive grip lock
Not
putt.
just missed it, she whiffed it.
Yeah.
What's she putting with? What's she putting with? Do you know?
I don't know actually. What stands out though, she's putting with a power grip, which I think is odd to me. I can't putt with a power grip at all. I fan.
You're talking about fingers inside.
Yeah, she's like fingers
on.
inside.
It's not the grip.
Yeah.
She's 2 meters.
Yeah.
You could have no arms and get it in from 2 meters.
You can almost lean over and put it in.
I could close
it's
my
pretty
eyes,
horrendous.
look backwards, and just throw the disc over my head, and chances are I'd hit metal. She whiffed it.
Yeah.
Whiffed.
Properly whiffed.
Shocking.
We're one of the worst displays of like putting yips I've seen. But
What blows my mind though is that she's this isn't the first time it's happened. She's had this issue for a couple of years, and there's been no noticeable change to her grip or her technique.
yeah.
Like, I'm not a strong putter, but I've tried every single bloody grip and stance and copied all of the pros to find what works best for me. It doesn't seem like she's done any of that.
This is where a coach would come in handy, wouldn't it?
100%.
Surely there's if not a team coach at Innova or something like that. Someone to just give us some advice. And if you're a golfer, you'd be out there hitting drives or putting with someone reviewing every single angle that you're doing it at to make sure that you're getting it done right.
I see blokes on the basketball court have yips with their free throws and they go to the bucket shot. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
she almost needs to try something like that. Like just fair can bucket it in.
Horseshoe putt.
That's it. I mean, there is someone in Vic. They should remain nameless. Jacob Cruden putts with a Firebird. I mean, why the hell?
really?
I want to see Evelina try the 9 speeds. Maybe that's what she needs.
Jacob, what are you doing?
If she's power gripping a putter, maybe feel
Actually,
good.
we should definitely
mention.
mention Jacob again later on.
Right.
But yeah,
It's a good strategy. He's got his inside the circle Firebird and he's outside the circle Firebird for putting.
A little less stable.
A little less stable. That's it.
why I actually put Evelina in though, because she did have that awful putting yips, and then there was footage of Paul Macbeth actually giving her some advice after the round, which I thought was really lovely. One part of the community is that, you know, even we're competitors one day, but we always offer a bit of advice to our competitors.
And Evelina, if you want some more, just jump straight onto Reddit, and there'd be plenty of assistance in the comments there for you. Plenty of assistance.
Be very wary of that, Evelina.
Alrighty, I am joking. I do love Evelina. She can rip a disc. Now, then we had the plenty of Australian tournaments. None of the massive ones, but we did have quite a few. First off, we have the Yeronga Memorial in Queensland. That MPO winner was Luke Bain by a whopping 5 shots over Aaron Morton. FA4 winner was Sarah O'Shaughnessy, 42 points above her average.
No, she's 42 over, but shot 124 points.
Well, that's even more impressive. Sorry to downplay it, Sarah. 124 points above her rating. That's huge.
Huge.
That's going to hurt the entire field of other people hoping to get a good rating, being a propagator. Gavin Cowan took out the MP40, and Dan Adamek in MA1, some hot scores, and a over 1,000 rated final round. So shout out to Big Dan, Highs of Flight.
Yeah.
I thought he played MPO.
Maybe he should.
He might be sort of on the cusp there, sort of flitting in and out.
What do you call those people?
On the cusp of,
up and comers. That's
No,
what we call
I'm
it.
kidding, Dan. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You're
I'm
angling for
kidding.
Up and
sandbagger.
comers.
Oh, just kidding. No, that's an awesome. That's great. 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 rated. Yeah, bloody awesome.
That's it. Next up, the tournament, the Uno Reverse, which, why is it called Uno Reverse?
Yeah, I had to look this one up because, weird name for a tournament, but makes sense when you look into it. It's actually played at Mundaring, and it's the Mundaring course played in reverse. So they go from the first tee to basket 17, I think, is the first hole, as a par 5 and so on.
Do they just do that to put the young fellas that play that course to death off their game?
Well, if they're doing that, it didn't work because Blake Houston took out MPO over 1 stroke over Alex Canaston. So, no, did not work.
It did not work. Huge win for Blakey. I think he was several shots down going into that final round and just basically birdied out to get the 1-shot win. So, well done to Blake.
Yeah, I think Alex had a 1,000 rated opening round too. So, yeah, very solid.
Scary thoughts playing those two boys. Very, very good disc golfers. MP40, Boat McQuaid in a playoff over David Briggs. Shout out to Boat.
Nice.
And further shout out, he's actually the player with the most rounds played of anyone in the world on UDisc. So well done.
That
to
is a
both.
stat right there.
That's a huge stat.
And I think he's bumped up the fact that Chichester is one of the highest rated. Sorry, one of the most played courses in the world.
That's it. Yep.
Just because of Boat.
The Golden Frolfen Turkeys. They do love a round at Chichester. Well done, Boat. FA1, Sue Summers had the win there. So well done. A couple of notables. Toby Canaston shooting a 977 rated second round. That's Alex's dad there, I believe. So obviously some good bloodlines there. And hit a playoff with
brother.
Toby's brother. Sorry.
David's dad.
David's the dad. Toby's the brother.
Yeah.
So
977. Pretty handy.
you telling me there's another young Canaston that I've got to watch out for?
Yeah, 100%.
Jesus Christ.
I think he's older than Alex.
All right.
But he had a playoff with Spencer Hammond, and I think Toby won.
Well done.
Nice.
Playoff. Now, I'm moving over to the next page, and I've got a tournament called Two Heads in Hobart, and I'm just reading MPO here. It says Tim in a playoff.
Actually, no, it was the freaking winner was the wind.
Oh, the wind.
2 heads. There's definitely 2 heads in this event. One was cooler than the other one.
Oh, where's the shout out? Which button gives me applause on this machine here, Paddy?
Yeah, this one.
Now, I did get the chocolates in a win.
No, he played very well, Timmy.
Do you mind to maybe go through the playoff and how that went down?
Yes,
Actually, no, maybe you should go second. You probably used to come in second.
Oh.
No, tell us about the playoff. Tell us about the playoff.
Well, look, I didn't check scores until the final 2 holes and realised that you had a 2-stroke lead on me, which I was a little surprised at. So got those 2 strokes back in the last 2 holes.
Yeah, I definitely chumped it up on 17, and then all jokes aside, that park job you did on 18 in the wind was pretty scary. I was stepping up to the tee going, shit, Paddy's just parked it. There goes my one-shot lead. I've got to make sure I get up and down and get a par at least to go into a playoff. Very scary stuff. So that was certainly clutch. And then we went into the playoff. This is a hole one at Poimena, which was actually runner-up for Dream 18, I believe.
Beautiful hole.
Beautiful hole. What is it, about 120 maybe?
I don't think it's quite that long, actually. I think it's about 110.
110.
But yeah, very, very sort of tight tee shot where you've got to really flex a backhand to even get a look at it.
That's it.
No lefty line to really speak of. And the wind can play sort of havoc, and it's a big, it's on the side of a hill, so you can get some pretty bad rollerways too.
There is a nice flex forehand line though, isn't there?
Absolutely there is. No, like fair dinkum. I reckon I probably had 30 practice shots on that hole just because I could not figure out what was the best play for me. I think the backhand, you kind of need to go low under this sort of low canopy. It feels open off the tee, but you do have to hit it low into the hill.
Yeah.
Tried the Spike Eyes line, and neither of those two plays was sort of consistently getting me there. So I opted for the forehand. I think I had to go first in the playoff. I went for the forehand because I knew that was probably my best chance of getting a par. I think I put it to 25, and then what happened, Paddy? And this is just to put it in perspective. This is a 23-degree, no rain, no wind, just perfect conditions. Ideal conditions, really.
No, we finally had a little bit of wind on that hole. There is that Spike Heiser line that you just talked about, and it's a great way to take a par. But if you get the right wind, it's also a good chance to run the basket. I've played that shot many times in the past, and gave it a run. Unfortunately, got the biggest wind lift I've ever seen in my life, and sent my disc about 40 meters up into the air and ran it OB by a couple of meters on the left-hand side.
Far left. The wind lift was massive. Like, jokes aside, that wind lift was huge.
Yeah. I was a bit pissed off about it because after we actually finished the hole, because once I went OB, it was just a walk-in for you, Timmy. Mm-hmm. I threw it twice, and both my shots after the fact with the same wind ended up about 30 to 40 meters inbounds. So, yeah, a bit of a freak, but do you know what? I was happy to see you take it, mate. I feel like I played the right shot. It was just a bit unfortunate with the wind. And, I was happy to sort of be there with you after the whole round. It was, the whole tournament, because we had a bit of a effort on our hands going into that final round because young Atticus...
Big shout out to Atticus.
Yeah, huge shout out. Played two very solid rounds in the start and had a 4-stroke lead on me and a 3-stroke lead on you going to the final round.
And it looked like we weren't going to get it. Like, he was just not making mistakes, and he's
putting.
He quite often would miss a birdie putt and leave himself with a 10-meter comebacker and then just drain it. So got some skill, the young fella. He did have a bit of a blowout on the 68-meter island hole. Yeah. Which, shout out to Ollie. Ollie Mundy Castle actually got an ace on that hole.
Yeah. Thought that first tournament ace, I think, there as well. And so first tournament in MPO too.
So he dashes down a 1 on his scorecard on hole 7. And our card, which is also MPO, you may not know that looking at the scores, carded a 3, a 4, a 6, and a 7 on the 68-meter island hole. So I do remember your tee shot on that was basically a full shank. And, you get up and down for a
full
putt.
shank?
Jeez, I mean, it was...
That's a bit harsh.
I mean, it was going left on the island with a backhand fading left. But the bush caught it. Look, you got a 3.
Yep.
And that... playing that hole horribly, taking a 3, you got a shot on me, 3 on Daz, and 4 on Atticus. You know what I mean? Thank you very much.
Yep. Playing smart, mate.
Look, shout out to Atticus. He obviously had a mare on that hole, but he played some very solid disc golf, and I think an MPO win is right around the corner for young Atty.
Yes, 100%.
Now, we've dwelled on Tassie too long. We've got to move on to Mount Borbor Alpine Classic, which David Heath will be very proud that I say is the highest played tournament in the country in terms of its altitude, all the way up on Mount Borbor. MPO winner was young Ryan Hart over Aidan Howard, with Ryan Hart putting in a 10.04 rated 10-down final round, which is pretty impressive. I did hear that the final round conditions were not ideal in terms of the fog.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I played in the fog there, and you couldn't see 40 meters in front of your disc. So,
Oh, right.
shout
So
out.
Reinhardt needs to play with his, a bit of fog in mind. Or,
That's it. No, I think he
just
had the
close
advantage.
the eyes a bit, Rhino.
He had the advantage because the entire Hart family was there. So shout out to Karen Hart and Ali Hart, obviously spotting for him. And
They're at the basket just ringing the chain.
Yeah, that's it.
We're over here, Ryan.
Yeah, that's it. Using the old Adidas wedge, I think, to kick the disc out of the rough. Oh, middle of the fairway, Rhino. Well done. No, shout out to Rhino. Huge win.
Smashed it.
FA2 was Janet Ford Adams. She had a 1-stroke win over Alice Reindl. And another notable, James Medding, tournament ace on hole 3 in round 2.
Yep. Very
Well
solid.
done,
Well done,
James.
James.
Awesome.
What is with
Janet
those-
Ford Adams going all right, actually.
Mm.
She had a bit of coaching from David Perry, and I think it's turned her game around a bit. So I go Janet.
Sign me up, Dave. I'm coming in next. So that's the recap. Up next, we've got the Disc Golf Pro Tour event, the Open at Austin, Texas. Can we get some tips there? I think for that one, it'd be very interesting to know if Ricky Wysocki actually comes back and plays, because Texas is normally his stomping ground, and he's just been sort of missing comp after comp at the moment.
It's the wrist, isn't it?
It's the rest.
Go away, Dad. Sorry.
No, can we get some tips?
Look, Ricky is down to play, but I didn't know this course off the top of my head, so I went and had a quick look. It looks like it's being played on a ball golf course. It looks very open, tight OB. I'm not sure what the weather's supposed to be like, but the distances do look demanding, so I think the big arms are going to take a bit of an advantage there. So,
Shoddy Calvin.
Calvin.
I'm tipping
Calvin?
Calvin.
All right, I'm going to throw out to Simon.
Simon Lizotte.
Lizard, yep.
Yeah, good luck with that. Fergs?
Well, I would have liked Calvin as well, but I will go AB.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Good
Come on,
tip.
AB.
Good
It
tip.
doesn't
But,
go well with OB.
Yeah, I was about to say,
But,
loves finding OB, young AB.
Can crush though.
He can crush. FPO, if Kristen. Yeah, KT. Yep.
Yeah. All right, I'll take Cat Allen. Why not? Something different. Fergie's like, who's left?
Evelina.
Go for it. Good
Do it.
luck.
That Paul Macbeth coaching might have done the trick.
Yeah.
I doubt it. But, yeah. And in terms of Aussie stuff, we've got a huge one down in Geelong. The Barwon Valley Bash played on Saturday. Up in Sydney, the Sydney Summer Slam. So a couple of little ones coming up.
Slams and bashes and crashes. It's all on.
Look, these are all just middling little comps. We're all waiting for the Vic Open, which goes down next month.
Yep, 6 weeks. 6 weeks away. Hopefully we'll get some of the organisers on the pod coming
Did you hear
up
about
next
that new major sponsor of the Vic Open? Okay.
Yeah, we did, but all right.
It'll come out.
Don't spoil it. Yeah. No, we will get some organisers on and to do a bit of, talk about the Vic Open coming up in a few episodes. In other news as well, I thought I'd just mention Dynamic Discs has been bought out by the House of Discs, which is some big news for that.
Now, who is the House of Discs?
House of Discs is actually who've acquired Latitude. Okay. So essentially it's the umbrella company who has bought Latitude, Casterplast, Dynamic, Westside, and there's I can't remember the other company, but they basically do the game.
The game, yeah.
The game.
Happy Valley.
Disc Golf Alley.
Disc Golf
Disc
Valley.
Golf
Happy
Valley.
Valley?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought actually House of Discs was still made up of David and a few of the blokes from Latitude, but it was Vendus that actually owns the majority stake in House of Discs.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Whoever it is, they're doing their absolute darndest to try and copy Innova Destroyers, and they'll get there. They will get there. They'll come up with another company next week, and they'll have another crack at making it.
They've just got to get that bubble technology in the rim.
That's it.
That Innova do. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is huge news, actually. I think it's really exciting. I think people thought that, there was a post by Jeremy Rusco beforehand, a couple of days, saying, there's big news coming, and everyone's thinking, you're going to make discs in the US and all that kind of stuff. Nah, I'm selling my company.
Well, he's got major share in the umbrella now, so he's on the board. But yeah, I'm sure he's taken a nice slice of
pretty huge
pie.
That's it. And I think in terms of the public, they were very worried, like, does that mean, DD and Westside and Latitude are actually going to merge, and it's going to be a bit of a blurred lines between the three companies? But no, I think this actually allows each of the three companies to flourish in their own right, even more so. So it's a big deal.
I think actually Disc Golf, Disc manufacturing in the US is probably on the cards now. So, yeah, it could be very interesting to see what happens.
Just on that, now that they've got Caster Plus, can we still call them Trilogy? Like it's quadrilogy now, isn't it?
Well, I think, like, as far as I know, I still can't throw a Caster Plus disc.
Right.
So I think the Trilogy still exists as it is. But, yeah, it'd be cool. I wouldn't mind bagging a bag. So we'll see.
If that does change, though, they're going to need to update the name. Because you can't, the quads. Or the quins. I don't know.
The quadruple bogeys.
We just called to have a chin wag. We just called to have a chat with friends. We just called to talk some disco and to catch up on the latest disco trends.
All right, and on the phone joins us Emilie Cameron. How are you, Em? Welcome to the Tee Off.
Yeah, g'day fellas. How's it going?
Hello.
Very good, very good. Now, Emilie, we all know who you are, but can we get a little bit of a quick bio from you? Where do you live? How long have you played disc golf?
Yeah, sure. So I'm in Newcastle, New South Wales. So we have a few courses around here, which is great. I've played disc golf. I think I started in 2008. We were living in the US, in New Jersey. And we started playing there. There was a course really close to our house and got really involved there for those 2 years. Came back to Newcastle and said, we need a course near us. So I was with my partner, Jonathan Jonas. So we put a course in here and started travelling around playing more and more and gone from there.
Yeah.
I don't play as much as I'd like to anymore.
Well,
Preach.
Yeah. But you are very heavily involved still in disc golf. Now, how long, you are currently the secretary of the ADG, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yep, I've been in that role since 2010. Yeah, no one else put their hand up for it then, so I did, and no one else has wanted it since.
2010, so 13 years.
Yeah.
Has there been, maybe apart from Martin, has there been anyone else longer serving at the moment?
I think Paul. I think if Paul ever left, we'd be in a lot of trouble. But yeah, Paul Arden has been there for longer than me.
Well, first off, thank you for all the hours that you've put into the organisation for disc golf and on the ADG. We really appreciate people like you doing that. It's huge.
Thanks. Yeah, especially now with all the growth, there's a lot of admin that goes on that people may not realise.
It completely goes unnoticed, and it is a volunteer position at the end of the day. So we definitely appreciate it, Em. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Now, why we have asked you to sort of come on and have a bit of a chat with us is that we saw a post go out today. The ADG have put out an expression of interest to form a group to provide guidance and advice on the ADG Strategic Plan for 2023 to 26, and we would just love to know a little bit more information about this, Em. So first off, what's a strategic plan?
Yeah, so we're starting this process to work out the priorities and direction that ADG should be heading in. So we want to hear from all our members and stakeholders. So that includes club members, state bodies, people running things, TDs, volunteers, even disc retailers and course installers. All these stakeholders are super important. So we want them all to have a say in where the future of our sport is in this country, and that'll all get put together into a strategic plan, and that will head us in the right direction. I think up till now we've sort of gone with a general grow the sport, but we now need a new, more nuanced approach than that.
And it's a 3-year plan, so you're looking at 23 to 26. So just a short-term kind of plan there to kind of work things out first. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think the past few years have seen a lot of change in the sport, like huge growth in numbers and some more sort of players moving up. So yeah, we thought a shorter plan will sort of capture that change, and then we'll see where we are at the end of those 3 years and do a new plan for the future.
Yeah, amazing. So you've kind of said a couple of reasons why this strategic plan is important, but is this the type of thing that looks good to try and get more like funding, that type of stuff, or is it just really to provide a direction for the sport?
I'd certainly having plans like this and like governance in order helps to attract sponsors and government funding. Looks good for that. So, and certainly if we can set it up really well, we'll have those structures in place to take advantages of grant opportunities and those sorts of things that come up.
Do you need any sort of experience to be, jumping on this committee or subcommittee?
Yeah, so what this committee is, it's just a reference group. So what we wanted to do was to get a diverse sort of group of people from the community to just work. We're engaging an external company to do up the strategic plan. So this group will really work with them to make sure the process goes smoothly and engages the members and stakeholders in a meaningful way. So this group will review what's going out, any surveys and things, to make sure we're capturing the right information. They'll look at who should have input and also provide feedback on what is produced, that initial feedback. And we thought putting it out to an expression of interest like this so anyone can be involved is a pretty transparent way of doing it. No one can say they weren't informed that this was all happening. And it's a good way to get that diversity in the group.
Yeah, sounds good. So how can people actually register their interest? What is the process of this?
Yeah, so you can just send me an email, which is secretary@australiandiscgolf.com. There's a bit of information up on the Facebook page, or I can send anybody any extra information. Another great way to get just general information about what's happening at the board is to contact your state rep. So we had a little restructure this year, and we have, for most states and territories, 1 or 2 state reps. And they're a great port of call if you have any questions about what's happening at the board or just any questions about what's going on. If they don't know the answer, they can come back to the board to find out.
Amazing. So if I wanted a part of, a strategy to be to outlaw the flex forehand, is that something I can send into the ADG?
Yeah, look, at this stage, those sorts of opinions, save it for the survey. So what we think will happen is a survey will be sent all around, and you can put whatever you like in there. No constructive comments are encouraged.
You got it done in the playoff, Paddy. Just so you know, got it done. The old flex forehand.
Mandatory T signs on the front right hand of the pad.
That's right. I'll step around it. It's all good.
Awesome, man. Well, I hope that there's a bit of interest that comes in and we get a really diverse picture, because that's what it's going to take to really put a good strategic plan forward. And because there's so many different aspects of this sport, that's popping up now. It's from all the way from juniors to the pros, and heaps of different aspects. So teaching, tournaments, it sounds pretty cool. So I'm sure you want to hear from everyone.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the most important thing everyone can do is when they see a survey or anything come out is to fill it out for us so that we do get all those opinions.
Are you saying the Facebook comment section is not the place?
Well, I was going to say there's plenty of...
It's really not.
Yeah.
You can jump on Reddit and there's also...
Or just listen to the tee off. I'm sure there's plenty of trash opinions there. Well, Emilie, thank you so much for coming on and giving us a little bit more information about the ADG Strategic Plan and what the go is for that. If anyone is interested, please jump on and submit your interest and, offer your support, because that's how we best get results moving forward.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Amazing. Thanks,
Emilie. Love your work.
Cool. See you.
Bye. Good on.
It's good. It's good. Long overdue.
Long overdue.
Can you imagine doing unheralded work for the ADG for 13 years? I mean, it's just amazing what those people can do and what they've been doing for our sport. Awesome stuff.
It is awesome. Yeah. I'm interested to hear the company that they're outsourcing to do this strategic plan with. It should be good.
Yep.
Looking for help with course design and installations, a new disc or other accessories for your game? Well, AusDiscs has a huge range of all disc golf equipment in stock. 5% of each sale goes back to support your local club through their rewards program. Also, did we mention they have next day shipping? Well, jump online and check out AusDiscs now at www.ausdiscs.com.au.
Alrighty, boys. Next up, I've got a little bit of a tester quiz for yous. This is a little bit of fun. I'm going to test you guys, but those listening at home, you can also play along. The Joe Mez Pro theme songs is something that I love to listen to, and every year since they've brought it out, they've gone banger after banger. But when I do hear the song, I'm like, I'm not really sure with what year that actually was. So
It's kind of like Tim looking at his sexy Firebirds.
I know him better than the back of my head. Now this will be interesting. I think I will nail the first few, but I reckon around about 2020 was when Disc Golf Network started to become my priority. So the newer ones, I may not have any clue.
yeah, I'm gonna play them. You please just keep it going, and if you feel like you know which year it is, just sing it out. And
We
yeah,
buzz in, or we want to just
you can buzz in. What's your buzzer going to be?
Cheese dick. Oh, sorry. That's
It's the wrong buzzer. Don't hit that. All right, cheese dick and
I don't know. What have we got? What can I do?
flex forehand. You can
Flex
do that.
forehand.
All right. So once you feel like you know what it is, sing out, and those playing at home, see if you can beat the boys.
Cheese dick. Oh, sorry, I was just testing my buzzer.
Yep.
So, actually, I think I need something
I'm not
else.
touching it. You're
I'm
the
gonna
only one
say,
touching it.
Anti-flex forehand.
You can be Heiser flip.
Okay.
Flex it.
All right. What
I
year?
believe 2019.
2019 it is. Well done.
Smashed it. That's when they took like the 2017 one and that just made it an absolute like electro banger.
That is one of my favourite ones, actually. All right. Next up.
Yeah, Heiser flip. 2022.
22 it is, yeah.
Bang, bang.
Nice.
One apiece.
There's no way I don't get 2018, by the way. That was my jam. That was when I first started watching Jomez.
Heiser flip. Ooh. 2017.
Oh, no.
Flex it. Flex that.
All right. Tim?
That's 2023?
No.
Oh, yeah, it must be one.
That is 2020.
I'm way off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolute banger. There we go. All
No
right.
points.
No.
Trash.
At least I didn't go AB. You went early.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, flex it. There it is, 2018.
2018.
Play a little bit more though. Jesus,
It is a
saucy
banger.
one.
Wait for the kicker.
Actually, this has
Takes
a
ages
long,
to get.
It has a long wait for the drop. This
You can
one.
listen to it on Spotify, guys.
So good. We'll play that at the end though. Let's roll with that at the end of the tee off.
All right.
Heiser flip. 21.
No?
Fuck.
Flex it. That might be. That's the original. That's 2017.
That is 2017. Tim.
Jeez, that's good stuff. I'm getting ASMR right now.
All right, next one.
Yeah, flex it. That's got to be the last one. That's 2023.
It is not.
Oh, jeez. You've gone out of
Yep. What do you reckon, Fergs?
there. 21.
21 it is. Yep.
That is a good tune, actually. I did like that one.
And now the last one, just give me a moment.
I'm going to flex it and say it's 2023.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is 23. Getting a little bit country on that one, actually. I don't mind it.
Everyone goes country at some point.
Awesome stuff.
Well done. I hope you beat the boys at home, but I don't know if you did. Cause
No, I reckon I did pretty poorly there. I'm very
You're
embarrassed.
pretty good there, fellas. You're pretty sharp. Cool. All right. Next up, we're going to have another bit of a back-to-back fun segments. I've got a new intro for this one, so here it is.
No, it won't take the weight. What's he doing? Your donut. No, stop it. What? Are you dismantling a lamp? No, come on, ready? You muppet. Really?
It's Gordon Ramsay, rate my plate.
Yeah.
God.
We had a bit of fun with the last one. Andy Wiz, you sent in a couple of your little homemade projects, and Tim, you grilled him, mate, and he loved it. He sent in saying, "Thanks for the grilling on the tee off." Smiley face.
Hope he hasn't left the sport. I felt a bit bad going home after the last recording.
No, he loved it. He did want to say, though, the tubs were the most expensive part of the buggy. And each one of his tubs has a dish rack tray inside that holds 14 discs.
A dish rack tray.
A dish rack tray. And he reckons the basket works perfectly. So you get to see the buggy at the Vic Open, Tim.
Oh,
You have to have a
mate.
closer look.
Look, the buggy I'm okay with. It's the basket that as if that works perfectly. As if. All right. Don't tell me people have sent more stuff in. Is that why the segment's coming back? People have actually sent in more stuff.
We have been sent in a couple of things, but before we get to that one, I have nominated my own creation there. So
I thought this thing looked familiar.
yeah, this is the buggy that my dad and I had a little bit of fun with. It is a bit of a hack job done on an actual golf buggy.
I think hack job is, painting it in a better light than it actually is, Paddy. Like this is what
Well, look, I'm putting it out there.
This is what I'm looking at here. First of all, it would have been a shitty golf buggy to start with. Like, it's not like you spruce for the upmarket model.
Might have been from the 70s, maybe.
From
There's
the
no tread on
70s.
the tyres at all.
No tread on the tyres. It's a two-wheeler, so you gotta lean that bad boy back if you want to pull her along. It's just kind of like putting your bins out on a Tuesday night.
I do feel as though I'm just seeing something that's coming up next.
that's
That's
next.
disgusting.
Now I'm also seeing like a phone holder on the handle. Is that so you can record your shot as it's whizzing OB in a playoff? Too soon?
Tell you what I'm looking at. It's a nice comfy seat there, which looks like it's been reupholstered with some sort of Monstera plant pattern from Spotlight.
Yeah, I reckon if you had a look at one of the cabins down at the caravan park near Barn Valley, you'll see that one of them's missing the drapes, because that's what that seat covering is. What were you thinking there, buddy?
Well,
Nice
look,
blonde
these
look.
are black and white photos, but that is a hot blue colour, multicolored as well.
Oh, boy.
Which I've had plenty of compliments about. Thank you very much, Tim.
Now, look, the golf buggy has one job, and that is to hold the discs, or hold the disc bag in this case. Your bag's barely held by that thing, Paddy. It's always falling off, and it's not even moving.
Now I'll jump to your defence, Paddy. How many Aussie champs have you won with this buggy?
Oh, at least 2.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Imagine
There
if
you
you
goes,
had
all right.
imagine if you had a good one. You'd be like a 6-time Aussie champ. No, look, Paddy, that is absolutely utter disgrace. Like, that makes Andy Wisniewski's golf buggy look like a bloody Rolls Royce. So, yep, well done. Next one.
Good, thanks. I'm only crying on the inside. All right, next up, we've actually been sent in. It was a nomination from Damien Kospek.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What is that?
Well, he's actually sent, it's his brother's basket.
I'm sure it is. It's like, oh, no, this is my mate's. I didn't make that.
Nah,
All right. So first off, I'm seeing another Daewoo Lanos tyre. So somewhere out in the country, there's a Daewoo Lanos propped up on bricks, because Andy Wisniewski's pinched a tyre, and now Andrew Koss has pinched one as well.
How many chains? I can count 3. No, there's maybe at least 7 chains on that basket.
Look, just you want to make sure you're putting dead flat into that thing, and with about 0 speed.
It looks like the chains are being hung by a couple of coat hangers too. Is that coat hangers?
Tent
No,
pegs?
no.
No, they're...
God.
Yeah, wowza.
That's-
And look, I can't ignore it. The top is on a massive lean. It looks like it's been hit by a Daewoo Lanos.
It's come back for revenge. Eh? He's stolen my wheel.
How on earth does that catch a disc? How?
The tyre's been cut open as well, so the top of it. So that would have taken a bit of effort to, kind of cut up that. Oh, God.
At what point do you just
How
like?
much time and effort do you want to put into something?
At what point do you just like? Put a stick in the ground and aim at the stick, because it's got about just as much chance of catching the disc. Fair dinkum, Andrew.
Oh, good.
But
gracious,
well done. It looks like it could be made like a sort of grade 2, grade 3 sort of show and tell sort of level. Make up a bit of art. And
My dad's a disc golfer. Oh, goodness.
Nah, look, thanks, Damo, for sending that in. If you want to nominate any of your friends, please take some photos, flick them to us, and we will review them.
I think we need to have some sort of segment where the Flying Disc Store gives away a birdie basket to the shittest homemade piece of shit.
Oh my God. Can you imagine the stuff we get sent in? There'll be like one chain link on a stick.
All right. If you're happy there, Ferg, maybe we can talk about that after. But that could be a good one. Send in some nominations, people.
Fair dinkum, though. If I have to look at many more baskets made like that, I will sound like Gordon Ramsay. What the hell are these people thinking?
All right. Cool. Thank you, guys. Next up, the Australian Dream 18. Now, we are a little behind on this, but the whole four, the nominations were Mundaring, Crater Lakes, and Western Park. We did have the results that we weren't able to release last time. So Mundaring got 10 votes, Western Park 12, and Crater Lakes takes the win with 18 votes total.
No way. Crater Lakes won again.
Again.
The whole four.
On hole 4.
Oh boy, I reckon. How many is that in total now for that course?
That's 3 in a row for them. Let's go 2, 3, and 4.
So we will be opening up hole 5 nominations this week. Please make sure that you jump on and get some votes going because we can't have Crater Lakes winning.
I reckon the Australian disc golf community's let one slip there because I think out of those 3 holes, Mundaring certainly beats Crater Lakes, and I think Western Park beats them both. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yep. Get on and vote.
Get on and vote. Actually, now that you mentioned, I don't think I voted. Oops.
Thanks, Tim.
That's all right. All right, move along.
All right.
Just before you do, boys, I bid you farewell. I have to run. I'm sorry to bail mid-episode, but all the best, and don't talk too much shit about me.
All right. Get out of here. Shut that door so we can. Next up, we had a couple of questions and topics come in, so we'll go through them quickly. Rob Lim has sent us quite a novel.
He sent a paragraph, but he started off with an opening statement. So I don't feel that the players working hard to be the best, i.e. players in MPO, are not always getting rewarded for it. Okay. Now, what do you mean by this, Paddy?
So breaking it down a bit. So my understanding, so he's mentioned the payout. So currently MPO and MP40 are getting payouts. Each has their own pool of cash that goes towards the prize pool based on the amount of players in their division.
Right, so there's 7 players in a division. They all buy in for $100. Yep. Prize pool starts at $700 minus expenses, sort of thing, roughly.
Yeah. But this means that MP40 could have more players than MPO and could get paid more. He's saying, hear me out. Take a look at the recent reverse competition Mundaring. 3rd place in MP40 took home more than 3rd place in MPO because we had a 3-way tie. We shot 10 strokes better than 3rd in MP40. I don't know the solution, but are there any thoughts on this? Straight off, I mean, ties are annoying because then you have to, whatever, say there was $150 for 3rd place and it's a 3-way tie, that's $50 each. You got to split the cash.
That's all that's happened in this case, right? Like, that's why the payout's less.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, but even if it wasn't, if there's more players in MP40, that's just the way it falls, and you can ask any FPO player how they feel about that, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, they're kind of like MPO, FPO, MP40 are kind of like separate and isolated tournaments within themselves. So, obviously, if there are more players in MP40 or more players in FPO for that case, they're going to have a bigger prize pool and those placings are going to get paid more. That's just how it is. I don't know if that's necessarily an issue, though, is it?
Yeah, look, when I've TD'd, that's how I kind of run my events. Like each division, that's how you got to break it down. You've got the money for that division and that's how you figure out the prizes. But look, does there need to be more money in prizes? Like, I would love to see that. But I think when you're offering these divisions, it just has to be that.
Well, that segues to his next point. So, divisions. Do we have too many self-designated divisions in Australia for the smaller pool of players we have? You could be 3rd, 4th on MPO and walk home with nothing, but you've beaten 50 to 60 players on the day in all the other divisions. So, I think Reverse, it says they had 12 divisions for 55 people. Is that too many divisions? I think that is too many divisions.
Yeah, I think it's too many divisions.
Yeah. But that comes to the discretion of the TD as to what divisions they offer. And like I've been a TD, it's a tricky call at the start to go like, oh, what divisions do I offer? What I think they should do is maybe offer just all the divisions outright, and then sort of filter it back based on who has registered where.
Yeah.
So if you have a division that's only got 1, 2, or maybe even only 3 players, maybe it's time to merge. And that's where you can do things like, okay, MA4's got to merge with MA3, or MA40's got to merge with MA50. Sort of cut the divisions down a little bit.
Yeah.
I know, I'm playing one on the weekends. There's no age protected divisions because obviously it's a small comp, only a field of like 40 players. Can't have all 12 or all 14 divisions offered for just that many players.
Yeah, it is hard, and as a TD, that does get confusing, and that's more work you have to do. But I think when you look at the champs and stuff like that, 12 divisions make sense because you've got a healthy group of people. But in these smaller ones, it's hard, and there's a lot of divisions.
Definitely. Got to give a shout out to the people that are, it's been a couple of cases recently, like there was Ruben Berg, who's the only MP40 player at Tassie, jumped into MPO.
Yep.
And Claire Huss, she was the only FPO player registered at Sizzler, jumped into MA40. So shout out to people like that who are making the TD jobs easier and jumping into a more competitive showing on the day. Well done.
So thanks for sending that in, Rob. Next up, Sam Stoyer. Should the MA4 division be offered at ADGC?
Oh boy, that's got to be the most one of the most controversial topics going around. So thank you, Sam, for putting it on the airwaves and hearing our 2 cents. I'm not looking forward to getting death threats after this, but I'm going to go with a big fat no.
No,
and that's obviously what ADG have decided to do. Yeah. They're running MA4 at most of the competitions throughout the year, but the big one, Nationals, there's no MA4, and I believe last year they ran MA4, but there was only like 8 or 9 spots or something like that.
Yeah.
Should they run it? I don't believe so. I think obviously there's going to be a portion of people that really hate that decision because that is their division. But the solution is pretty easy in my mind. It's step up to MA3.
Yeah. I mean, so MA4 is recreational.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're playing that division. Yes, if you're an absolute brand new beginner, then usually that's the division you'll just slot straight into. But the lines between MA4 and MA3 are, can be blurred very easily.
Very blurred.
Yes.
And look, MA4, it's meant to be that entry-level division.
Yeah.
I believe when you register, it says what division do you want to register in, and it says, if not sure, select this one.
Yeah.
And it's kind of there to capture the people playing their first tournament, jump in, no expectations, and then from there you jump up.
Yeah.
How many MA4 tourneys did you play, Paddy?
Not that many, really, to be honest. Yeah. I think, there wasn't MA4 when I started. Okay. It was Rec. It was just Rec, Advanced, and Open.
Okay.
So I played the first year in Rec, but then started to play pretty well. So went into Advanced. I was there for about a year and then went to Open.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I played one MA4, 2 MA2s, and then potted about in MA1 for a while. And look, I think unfortunately there are people that, that's where their skill level's sort of dictating that they should play, is they're competitive in MA4. But, I mean, it's not that big of a leap to go up to MA3. You're probably not going to win it straight away. But trust me, it will be better for your game and better for your disc golf journey if you make that step up. It's always good to challenge yourselves. And I think people are starting to realise that because we're seeing more people take that jump from MA1 to MPO. Yeah. And it's good to see.
Yeah. So thanks, Sam.
So please direct all death threats at Paddy for that.
Yeah. Alan Manbar has sent in throwing a backhand with your opposite hand. So he's a left-handed player. So example is a left-handed player throwing a right-handed backhand. The context. Throwing a right-hand backhand might mean using a less stable disc than throwing a forehand with the dominant hand, especially in a scenario like a tunnel. Look, I know a few ambidextrous players. I know like Ryan Michelle is actually so ambidextrous he can do left hand, backhand, forehand, right hand, backhand, forehand.
Budgie, you mean?
Or Budgie too.
Isn't Ryan Michelle just doing it because he's not confident in the forehand?
Well, he's got more distance with the backhand. So that's what he's focusing on now. But he can throw both, but he has more power with a left-hand backhand and a right-hand backhand.
No, I don't like it. Just learn how to throw a forehand. It'd take a very, very unique scenario for a offhand backhand to beat a forehand, in my opinion.
Offhand backhand to beat a forehand.
It's almost more useful to have a offhand forehand to replace that backhand when you can't have the stance.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do a patent pending stance.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
I think if you've got the skills to be able to do both, but at the same time, you've got to put time and effort into really honing the skills in those areas. So unless you've got time to do that, it's going to be a long slog for you.
I'll take my word for it. Just learn the flex forehand. You won't need any other shots. makes the game easy.
All right, thanks, Al, for sending that in. Now, next up, mate, our favourite segment, Trash or Cash, is back. So, we've had a few people send in. I think people are enjoying this because there's been a few rounds that I've played where random people will come up and be like, "Hey, Paddy, here's a good trash or cash," or this, or something will happen during the round. They're like, "Oh, is that trash or cash?" But thank you to everyone who's actually sent in some topics for the trash or cash. We're going to go through them and let's see. So first off the list, 6 claw drop.
Oh, the Discraft 6 claw drop.
The Discraft 6 claw drop.
Mate, cash money. Did you just see some of these discs?
Look, I have seen some of the discs in
Sexy.
Fergie's shop.
Sexy.
They are pretty cool. The only thing I'll say is trash about it is that they made 3 million of them.
Not exactly collectible in that sense,
No.
they? But they all look amazing. So, I mean, it's just a unanimous cash, really.
Yep, I'm happy to put it as cash. Very cool.
And look, fair chance Macbeth goes to 7 this year. So, those 6 claws will just be jumping up in value, I reckon.
Yeah, all 3 million of them. Next up, Dan Froster's actually sent in Gore-Tex shoes. Should he embrace the slop or empty the wallet?
Embrace the slop or empty the wallet. I wear Gore-Tex shoes. I think they're cash. Very, very handy.
I think they're only cash if you bought them the day before an actual proper downpour. Then they're cash. After that one round, then they sort of, they don't really work as well as they did.
You're kidding. I reckon they work great.
Yeah?
Yep. Oh, mate, I needed them at Molong in that Schlop tournament. They were basically like gumboots.
Well, definitely when I have bought them and they've been new, they've worked really well.
Yep.
So I will throw it out there. They are cash. So Dan, when you're coming down to the Vic Open, get some. All right. Rattling chains when your group shoots a star frame.
Yeah, mate. I absolutely love this. I particularly like it when there's a group sort of nearby your fairway. You've just got a star frame. Your trick is to hold the chains, look at that group, and then rattle the chains.
100%.
And then you sort of get bonus points for how many heads turn when you rattle the chains.
Mate, whenever I'm on a chase card, 100% we're rattling.
Oh,
so
that's it.
absolute cash.
I love watching the other groups turn their heads like, yeah, fucking, that's right. We just birdied this 60-metre hole. Yep.
All right. The PDGA's new logo.
Oh, they probably spent trillions of dollars designing the new logo.
Yep.
It's changed very marginally, but I don't like it.
I like it too. I think it's a subtle disc shape inside the PDGA. I'll throw it out there. Yeah.
Awesome. Cash. Worth $1 bazillion?
Yeah, maybe not, but it's cash because they spent cash on it.
At least they haven't just jammed the letters together like every tournament pro's branding on their hats. Anyway.
Facebook events for tournaments.
Oh boy.
This is so hardcore trash.
I hope freaking Mark Zuckerberg is listening.
Oh.
Facebook is like or Meta or whatever the hell it's called these days, a multi-bazillion-dollar company. And it's absolute garbage. How could it be so bad? Sometimes I hit going on an event, and then if I actually want to look for that event and find the bloody details of what time I'm meant to be there, whatever, I can't find it.
Yeah.
It's trash.
It is absolute trash for disc golf events. I cannot... Yeah, it's trash as a TD. It's trash as a player. Just get rid of it. Yeah.
Oh, boy. We're definitely getting sued. Zuckerberg hears all, mate. He's definitely listening.
All right. Next up, the Casterplast guy from Vegas.
Now, I saw this guy. Paddy, maybe tell the listeners who didn't see the Casterplast Wayne, a guy from Vegas and what exactly he was doing.
Well, look, so Calvin's just won. He's jumped up with Terry on the Disc Golf Network and they're having their post-round interview. And there was some Muppet in the background, all dressed head to toe in Casterplast gear and miming... all day, baby, all day. Casterplast for life for a solid 5 minutes. And he's gone straight onto Reddit, all the socials. People are giving him an absolute fire it.
82% trash rating on Instagram.
Yeah, I threw it out on the old Instagram socials, and 82% trash. I got to admit though, I did have a chuckle at the
Oh
close.
mate, that's cash. I'm actually part of the Let's Casterplast group on Facebook, and they froth that guy. Like, he's our
their
hero.
messiah. Yeah, look, it made me laugh, so I'm going to say cash. It was fucking
that's
hilarious.
We do need to, at one point, talk about your stereotypical fanboy from each manufacturer.
Yeah,
because
that would be good.
That
actually.
guy is like the mascot for Casterplast now. But talking about the fanboys from each manufacturer would be funny, I reckon.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, next up, non-sponsored players with only one brand in their bag.
Here we go. Fanboy alerts. I mean, if you're not sponsored and you've got free reign to throw every brand of disc out there, why the hell wouldn't you? I mean, honestly, like I'm not sponsored.
Yep.
I think I've got 4 brands.
4 brands?
4 brands in the bag. I wouldn't purposely go. And I think probably the most common one is Discraft. In the States, so many players are like, oh, yep, I'm Discraft exclusive.
Discraft for
Oh,
life.
you're sponsored, are you? Nah. Why do you
Just
do
jumping
that?
on the wagon, are they?
And funnily enough, they tend to all be flag stamps. They've got the red, white, and blue grip bag.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's trash.
Yeah, I'm going to say trash too. The only thing I will say about it is maybe it's a good place to start because there's so many discs on the market. But, one company might be a good place to just figure some stuff out. But if you could throw a mixed bag, there's plenty of amazing discs across different companies. Like, trash. One good thing about being sponsored by Latitude, I got 3 companies to choose from. So, 100%.
Why not 4? I don't get it.
Yeah. Now, Tim, this might be directed at you a little bit, but
Shots fired.
using baby powder instead of just buying appropriate underwear for disc golf, this was actually sent in from Ryan Budge there.
Look, if we're talking sponsorships, I'm still waiting for my Johnson & Johnson sponsorship to come in because I'm a massive, I just love baby powder. Nothing worse than slogging it out at a sizzler, for example, 6 hours in the heat, 27 holes, and I'm gliding around like I'm on ice because I've powdered up down there, you know what I'm saying?
Do you know what? I reckon I'm going to throw... I had to go get my lungs cleaned out because I had to go down at Two Heads, visit the old, porcelain, throne. I walk in there after Tim, and I walked into a freaking cloud, man. I was like, what stinks like baby powder? That's all I could smell. I could barely breathe.
Someone changed the nappy in there, mate. I don't know what you're talking about.
How long did it take you to clean it off the floors, I wonder? It's like walking into Winter Wonderland.
So it's cash, right?
Oh, look, it's hard. There's only 2 of us here, but look, I'll throw it out to you, Tim. If your balls are sliding, mate, I'll say that's cash.
Now, I like this one. OB lines inside of barriers.
Ugh.
Now, you're already getting a trash vote from me because of OB lines.
100%.
But specifically setting them inside of barriers. So you just say you've got a core flute barrier, it's circle 2.
Yeah.
And then you put the OB line about 30 centimetres off that barrier.
Yeah.
So disc gets rolling, hits the barrier, stops, OB.
Yep.
Get
Trash.
Gets absolutely stuffed. Who thought of that? Who thought that was a good idea?
100%. Hey, it's all right. We stopped your disc from rolling, a meter OB.
Psych. You're out.
You're out. Trash. Oh, mate, if you're putting a barrier up, make that the OB, please. And our final one for this week's Trash or Cash, Nico Lacastro, mate.
Nico Lacastro. Now, this came about because I believe in round 2 at Waco, the man dressed up like a referee.
Yeah.
I mean, what? I'm speechless.
Yeah.
I mean, that joke is in such bad taste.
Yeah.
Like maybe if like the guy that he got into a stoush with at the European Open dressed up as Nico, that would be a funny joke.
That would be
That would be ironic. Like, oh, yeah, look, I'm the guy that was about to punch on with me. But Nico doing it, like, you're a flog.
Yeah.
All I can say is trash.
Yeah. Just, it's a shit situation. He stuffed up, but it's a shit joke. Like, it's not even funny. Like, I think he's trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But it wasn't funny.
That's it.
It's just like, you just come off as a spoiled little prick who has no idea of what he's actually done, and he got let off early. So,
and he takes too freaking long to putt, so that's already going to make him trash in my eyes.
So I think that's a solid.
I do like how he flexes over stable discs though. That's I mean that's almost getting him, it's almost getting him a cash vote in my book.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 33 of the Tee Off. Thank you so much for listening, guys. If you make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, please send in any questions and topics. And I think that Gordon Ramsay, I think we're going to need a few more homemade DIY projects for us to discuss. So please flick them in. Have a look at our link tree as well. We've still got a bit of merch being sold. We've got our Patreon there as well, and any other things that you would like to check out, our YouTube and whatnot. But yeah, until next time, we hope that you get out and play some disc golf with your mates and just have a good time of it.
So that's the end of the episode. Thanks for listening. I don't know why you're still here. We have to go see our families. Seriously, just go play disc golf.